Art, I was just got done reading Ray Dalio's last
Mm,
book, and the changing world order, something like
yeah,
that.
good
And
stuff.
yeah, he does a lot of research going back like
Oh,
4,000 years, and a lot of
yeah.
research on reserve currencies. It was really a neat book. But one of the things that he said is throughout history, the society or civilization that is in decline is always the one that's incentivized to go to war sooner than later. And
Mhm.
the society that's on the incline, they're the ones that are incentivized to not go to war right now and maybe push it off a couple years until they can grow a lot stronger. And as he was saying this, obviously I'm thinking China and the United States, and I'm thinking Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan, and all these things that it seems like we are doing to try to go to war. And I'm like,
Mm.
maybe that's it. Maybe that's our intention, is to just go now while we still have the upper hand. What do you think?
Well, I've got a lot of respect for Ray Dalio, and I thought his book was amazing also. Um, I think that, again, back to my experts on security, what they tell me is that they think that the likelihood that the U.S. would use nuclear weapons of some sort in the current Ukraine Russia conflict is far more likely than that Russia would use them first. And it's and again, I'm not endorsing their view. I'm just telling you what they tell me.
And I'm
That
sorry, Ray, you're I'm sorry, Art, you're cutting out a little bit. So you said that, and the experts that in the field, it's their view that that the use of nuclear weapons in Ukraine, that there's a higher probability that we use them and a lower probability that Russia uses them, or vice versa.
no, you said it correctly,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that Russia has always been very careful and remains very careful about violating fundamental. I mean, what they did by invading Ukraine was obviously against international law, but they're really careful about not violating things that could get them destroyed. The U.S., I mean, our stated objective in this conflict, and since the 1950s, has been to destroy the Soviet Union or Russia, and our actions seem to support that.
Right.
Okay, now you can argue. Again, I'm not saying this is right. I'm saying this is what people tell me, whose profession and expertise it is to look at these things. They're a lot more worried that the U.S. will use tactical nuclear weapons than they are that Russia will. I don't know
Hmm.
if that's right or wrong, but it kind of supports what you just described as one of Ray Dalio's themes. But that's not the way it's cast. I mean, the way that we receive the news is that China's way out of line. They're the aggressor. They're the ones that are making all these aggressive moves in the South China Sea and Taiwan. And I'm not saying that they're unaggressive, but to your point, why exactly was it necessary for Nancy Pelosi to go to Taiwan? I mean, did that help anything? Um, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Show me the cost benefit analysis on that one.
If I were in charge of paying for that trip, I would have said, why don't you wait a while?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And again,
And
that's not a political statement. Okay, it wasn't a well thought out thing to do. It didn't. It made thing. It raised the temperature. And why do you want to do that?